beautiful people. Hope you're doing all right. Just dropping in with a short, quick video for you. I always think of subjects that I could talk to you about that's not common, because someone asked me to make a video about acknowledgement and jurats. Honestly, I can make a video and I'll see if I make one for next week about that. But I just think that there's already a lot of videos you can go look up as far as that goes. Unless you want me specifically to do it, you could go to NNA, you can go to YouTube, and they have tons of videos to tell you the difference between a jurat and an acknowledgement. With that being said, I would love it if you would support my page in order to keep it going by giving me topics you would like to learn about so that I could do the research and then post it here for you. That's going to help you in your notary business. But the angle that I come in with, why I call myself the motivational notary, is because I try to motivate you to think on a more business aspect, because it's easy building the notary business. That part is easy. You just have to get your EIN, establish your LLC, or decide if you're going to be sole proprietor, which I am anti-sole proprietorship, to be honest with you, because to me a sole proprietorship is for anyone that's looking to do it as a hobby, to see if the business is going to be a go, if it's going to flourish and have the potential to make money. But other than that, I really am against working from home. I mean, you can work from home, but I'm talking about using your home as a business office. That's just me personally. That's my personal preference. Reason being, because if you decide that you want to build your business up and you decide later on that you want to start building business credit, then as a sole proprietor, you're not going to have to turn your business into an LLC anyway, when you could have done it from the start. Not only that, but you get a tax break for your LLC every year that you have to renew it. You could write that off as a deduction as part of your business expenses. Another thing is that people cannot come after you for your business assets under an LLC, because you're protected with your LLC, and so they could probably come after your personal assets but not your business assets. So there's many reasons why, and there's ways that you could get a business if you don't want to have an actual office. There are affordable ways to have an actual business address without using your personal address. Plus, why would you want your personal business address posted everywhere, right? Because this is your home and your place where you live. I personally like to keep business and personal completely separate. With that being said, you have established your notary business, and if you need help to establish your business, please message me. Don't ever pay anybody to help you get your EIN from the IRS. What you will have to pay for is your LLC to establish your articles of organization. But once you have that, you go to the IRS and you can apply for your EIN for free. You don't have to go to LegalZoom for that, okay? Don't pay anybody to get your EIN. And when you go to the IRS, go to irs.gov. Don't ever go to irs.com or .net. Those are going to direct you somewhere outside of the IRS. It's irs.gov, okay, for your EIN. Now, my topic today is about accepting payments, right? Now that you're a notary, you want to start getting paid. I have conflicting issues because there are notaries that are new, and so I don't want to say desperate. That's not a wise word to use, but I understand, because I was a new notary, and I was kind of like anxious because I wanted to start notarizing documents and get my feet wet, but it took forever to get hired. The anticipation of waiting, having to be patient, right? And then finally you're hired and you're like, how do I know how much to take for a deal, right? How do I know what pricing is fair? And nobody wants to tell you, because then they call it price fixing. And nobody really wants to help you out. And so you're lowballing yourself and shortchanging yourself because nobody's telling you how much to charge. Now, where I cannot tell you how much to charge because it is your business, but that's where you have to be wise. I highly recommend that you join notary groups, and that you network with these notaries and then talk to them privately, and privately have that conversation with them. If they're a nice notary, which most notaries that I've met are, you have a few that are special, and you can't help it, right? People are going to be who they are. Estimating, I'm not a big Excel spreadsheet expert, but I can help you with that so that you can learn how much to charge depending on what distance you have to drive, fuel mileage. Like right now, I personally, me, you can make money off of general notary work. The reason I don't like doing it is because people have this broke mentality. Sorry to say it, but somebody's got to say it. And I'm the one that will call the pink elephant in the room if nobody else wants to call it. And I love pink, so I will definitely call out that pink elephant. And they're always crying about your fees, right? So recently I've had to go up another $10 with my fees. And people are like, oh, that's too much. Well, that's what I charge. I'm not even going to go warm up the engine for less than this. Sorry. That is my mileage, wear and tear on my vehicle, and right now, fuel costs. So that's why I had to pull up my fees, because fuel has gotten more expensive and you have to make everything relative to the times. So if I was charging you a certain fee before, that was before gas prices skyrocketed and inflation is hitting us, everything is increasing. So guess what? Why am I going to keep my fees the same? Then you have the competition with other notaries, because when you finally do get a lead, now you got to compete with another notary beating you to the punch, because they're willing to drive who knows how far for $65, $85 without doing the research, without checking how far they got to drive. And me, I'm going to go and see how far I have to drive before I accept that. If it's there by the time I go to accept it, it's for me. If it's not, hey, you got it. All the best to you. I wish you all the best. But I'm not going to go jump just because I got an order. I'm going to go do my research. And that makes it kind of unfair for other notaries that you're willing to get lowballed because you want to take these cheap orders. And that's why we get lowballed by everybody. And they don't want to pay us what we deserve to get paid, especially if we're the ones doing the work and taking the long drives. Like, I don't mind you lowballing me if I'm locally driving. I'm willing to get lowballed for that if you don't want to pay me. But think about it. These companies are getting paid well. And they're getting paid well, and they're handing you the work, and they're still getting a good cut. And what I don't find fair is that these companies are giving you the work, lowballing you, knowing that you got to put the gas, the mileage, wear and tear on your vehicle. You got to print 2 sets of documents, and then you're getting lowballed for these documents, especially if the times get changed and they send you last minute paperwork. And you want me to do all that while you're still making good money and you're not doing anything except finding the leads. That's why a lot of notaries don't want to go through the middleman. If the middleman paid you better, I wouldn't mind going through the middleman, but a lot of notaries get the experience so then they could go and try to service themselves and service themselves without the middleman. So that way you make all of the money and nobody has to lowball you. But when you're new, you got to bite the bullet, right? And get the experience. But once you get the experience, you ought to stop letting people lowball you and shortchange you. I'm sorry, but me, all money is not good money. And I'd rather turn down an order if you're not willing to pay me. I had an order yesterday. They wanted to pay me $65 to drive 2+ hours. I don't think so, boo. I'm reasonable, but I'm not an idiot. $65 not even gonna, like, that's a tank, not even a tank of gas. And I gotta drive 5 hours, almost 5 hours round trip. So you got to really stop and think of your notary business as what it is, a business. This ain't a side hustle. Unless you're doing it on the side, it's still a business. You have a business to run, and as a business, you got to think business minded. And that's where I come in. I'm teaching you how to think like an entrepreneur, right? Because you might think that it's fair because you're making more than what you were making before with your job, but it's still relative, right? So if it's a good paying business, why damage that? See, you know how they say it takes one bad apple to spoil the bunch? It really does happen that way. And it's a nice business, but other people come in and they're new and they're just learning, so they're willing to get lowballed, and other people are willing to work for less. So that damages things for good notaries who have a good reputation, who are not going to want to get lowballed. And I find that so unfair. So where yes, we do not do price fixing, at the same time, there should be a threshold. Got it? So that's all what I'm saying, is that there should be a starting threshold, and then you set your fees according to that. Like if you become a remote online notary, there should be a threshold. Everything should have like for example, if you're in Florida, they charge $10 per seal. That's up to how much you could charge. In Tennessee, it's up to $5. So it depends on what state you're in, up to how much you can charge. But there's a threshold, right? There's a template there. You can get an idea what you're to charge, but when nobody's telling you anything, that leaves you in the dark. So I find that very unfair, and it ticks me off, because I'm like, did you even have time to look up this order? Or do you just know your whole way around the city, that you just know where this order was? And hopefully you don't have to drive over an hour for like $80. Sorry, I'm not that kind of notary. I provide value, and I want to get paid for that, right? Just like with any other business, you want to be lowball because you want to get the business, and you're thirsty for the business, and then you got people that know what they're doing and they provide the value, and they want to get paid for that value that they provide. So if you want A1 top treatment, you're going to give me A1 top pay. But that's me, and not saying in an arrogant way, because I've dealt with being underpaid for jobs, but I always let them know, okay, if I do this, are you going to keep me in mind for the future? Because I would like to become your notary of choice. So I always market myself, and I always try to get those Google reviews, because that helps with my business reputation, because then my reviews do the talking for me, right? In other words, you got to going up. Don't sell yourself short. Give yourself the value you know you're worth. And especially you're putting all that wear and tear on your vehicle and all these ridiculous gas prices now, right? So you got to price your things according to the times. And make it where you're not cheating other notaries who don't want to lower their prices, right? The next thing I want to talk to you about is how to price things. You have things like, how to receive payments, my bad. You have things like Square. You could get Square card reader. They have one that has the chip. I'm going to be ordering that because I had the one you slide on your phone, but there's one that you can use where they could just tap their card, or where you could stick it in with the microchip in the chip reader. So it's the Square microchip card reader, I believe. And it doesn't cost that much. That's another tax write-off for your business. You have PayPal, like I've gone to do general notary work. Sorry, my accent with the general notary work. I don't know why I always get tongue-tied with that, but stick with me. But the next thing is they didn't have cash, so I was doing PayPal, but then I realized, okay, I got to pay a fee every time they pay me through PayPal, and I want to make sure I get paid before I put those seals on my document. So I let them know, hey, while I'm filling out my log, I sent you an email. Please pay me while I'm filling out this log, and then we'll proceed to notarizing your documents, right? So then I realized, okay, that's costing me. So now I'm like, cash is preferable, but if you want to pay me by Square, PayPal, whatever other forms of method, you have Cash Apps, Venmo, set up your thing where you could get paid. But if you know that they're going to charge you a fee, add that fee, say, hey, it's going to be an additional $3 if you're going to pay me with a credit card or debit card. If you don't have cash, it's going to be an extra $3. Don't be afraid. Put your value with, like, I had that lady, she's expanding her business, has 2 businesses, she's trying to expand to another state, need a document notarized. Okay, if you want me to drive to you, you could go to the bank, get it done for free. But if you want me to drive to you, want that luxury of me coming to you, yeah, I have to charge you my travel fee. Oh, that's too much for me. Okay, well then I hope you find someone that can help you notarize your document. Sorry, I don't mind letting money walk away. Money will always find me, because it's about your mindset around money. And I eliminated that poverty mindset when I came out of that 9-to-5 hustle, because I came to realize that if you respect money, money will always find its way back to you. And so that's a mindset shift that I would love to train people on. Because the way people view money and say that something's too expensive, no, you can afford it, but you just choose not to put your money there. But don't say you can't afford it, because then when you go spend your money on something silly, you don't complain about that because you're glad to spend it. How come you have the money for that? So don't say it's too expensive. Just say that that's not where you want to put your money at. It's about changing your wording and how you talk about money, how you view money. and how you respect money. And so if a person has a business to run, you shouldn't be lowballing somebody else, knowing that you want to get paid well for your services. And because I know I'm glad to pay for other people's services, then I know that the value I've come when I add my value to my business, if that made sense what I just said. So look at Square, look at PayPal, what the interest rates are. Another thing is on your bank fees. This is a bonus. On your bank fees, whenever they charge you that monthly bank fee on your business checking, those monthly fees that they're charging on your bank, you could write that off on your taxes during your tax year, because that's part of running your business. So I hope that helps, and stick with me. If you haven't subscribed and joined Sign Notary Services, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit like, hit that notification bell whenever I post on Wednesdays, and I will see you on the other side on the next video. Love you all. Think business.